a special welcome to this month's tarot lottery winner, Andrea. Welcome to this reading, and thank you for following along with us. If you'd like to enter the lottery, which is something that I do each and every month, towards the end of the month, you can enter the next lottery to win a reading on my Patreon page or on my personal website, which is where you can also book a reading with me or subscribe for monthly readings. You can find the details in the description. Without any further ado, in today's video, I'm going to read for Andrea, and since she hasn't really given us a topic to work with, I'm going to do a freestyle reading, which you can basically get at any tier that I offer. So if you like this reading style, feel free to contact me and book a reading with me. The point of the freestyle reading, and if you like to read for yourself, you might also find that in certain situations, freestyle reading is better than anything else. The way we do it, or rather the way I do it, is that I like to pick one card in the beginning to pinpoint the topic or the essence of what's going on with me or the other person. So this is the topic that we need to talk about today, Andrea. Let's see what it is. And it's a beautiful card. It's the High Priestess. And so, the High Priestess is a major arcana card, and it's about your intuition. It's about the ability to make good decisions, and I was just thinking about that before I started this video. The difference between a rational decision and a good decision. A rational decision is going to remain the same. If you go back in time, knowing what's going to happen, if you go down the path that you did, making your rational decision, if you, in theory, travel back in time and are faced with the same exact conditions, the same exact situation, you're going to have to make the same decision if you want to make the rational decision. Meaning that rational, logical decisions are made in the framework of the already existing structure of logic, and with the information that was given to you at the time. So even if you could change what you did, you couldn't choose anything else. If you made a rational decision, that rational decision is going to remain the rational decision. And that's all there is to it. And sometimes the rational decision happens to be the best decision. But there are lots and lots of situations where that's not the case. And that's where intuition comes in. And I think even if you are a skeptic, meaning, and I mean this, perhaps in a neutral sense of the word. So I don't mean that you have a hostile or a negative attitude towards the esoteric stuff that I'm doing here on my channel, but maybe you're a skeptic. And what I mean by that is you have an open mind, but you don't necessarily subscribe to the beliefs or the notions that the tarot speaks about. So even if you're a skeptic, someone who is not committed either way, which, by the way, I think is a good position to be in, always. Even as a tarot reader, it's good to have a flexible mind. And even if if you're a practicing reader and you're reading for yourself or for other people, having the mindset of this could only mean this, or this equals that, having this scientific sort of attitude, I think it goes against what makes tarot readings really enjoyable and beneficial. Now I'm going off on a tangent. I apologize, Andrea. Anyway, even if you're a skeptic, I think you can agree that there's more to life than logic and the rational explanations and the rational ways of trying to navigate the world, because people are irrational. The psychological laws that govern human behavior, they sometimes can seem like they are arbitrary or even random. There can be lots of surprises and lots of unknowns that you have to deal with. So I think what this card is telling you about Andrea is that secret component to decision making that they don't teach you about at school. The High Priestess guards the frontier between dreams and reality, between the subconscious and the conscious mind. And so the High Priestess adds that component, that ingredient, that sensitivity to your actions. Perhaps something that could be interpreted or understood as luck. So, let's see how you can get in touch with and how you can start relying on your intuition more. At first, I would like to know more about where exactly you need your intuition, Andrea. And again, I apologize for speaking so much in the beginning and not about you. Perhaps it is related to what you're going through, but I just felt like it had to be said. Let's see. This is where you need your intuition right now the most. The Five of Swords. Okay. And this was a jumping card. So you know that whenever a jumping card appears, there's a message that really, really wants to come through. It's kind of like the tarot stumbling over herself to convey, to express, to deliver the message to you. So there's a sense of urgency to it. Okay, so the Five of Swords, just in general, before I start going into the details, is about conflict. It's the card of conspiracies. It's the card of people having opposing interests, not seeing eye to eye, not being on the same page, perhaps sabotaging one another. So, you will definitely need your intuition in your dealings with others, because people don't seem to be on their best behavior around you. So let's see what you can do to strengthen your intuition. What you should focus on and what you should work with to make your intuition more reliable, stronger, and more effective. Now, let's see if there's anything that your intuition would like to tell you about the next important thing that is coming up for you, whatever that may be. If you think about it, the first thing that comes to your mind, that's what the tarot is referring to. The first, next important thing that is coming up. So this is the immediate future. And now, let's see if there's anything in the long run. So, many months, perhaps a year, distance, if there's anything that you should be focusing on. Oh. The Hermit. I want to see if it's reversed or not. Okay, so it is. Let's see what's going on here. So first of all, like I said in the beginning with the Five of Swords, it looks like you really need to trust your gut feeling when it comes to dealing with other people in business or in your private life, because people seem to be needy, manipulative, unpleasant around you. The Five of Swords is a card of, gossip, or, those darker traits and tendencies of the human soul that we all hate, but we all have as well. Now that's external here. So this is where you need to use your intuition. You really need to start and trust when your gut is telling you that you cannot trust someone. And the way to make your intuition stronger, we have the Five of Pentacles here. And the Five of Pentacles, more often than not, is about losing a resource. The Five of Pentacles is an earthy card. So it has to do with the material, the stabilizing forces in your life. Now, the Five of Swords is air-based. So that's a card of everything that happens in the mind, the analysis, the intrigue, the verbally articulated attacks or defenses. Now, the Five of Pentacles, on the other hand, even though it's the same number, it's a different story. And this is the way for you to strengthen your intuition, because it speaks about losing or refraining from something in the physical world. The Five of Swords would be losing mental energy due to the unpleasantness of others, having to fend for yourself in a hostile environment. Now, the Five of Pentacles is, I think it's referring to your need to cut certain crutches from your life, to get rid of some things that you rely upon instead of focusing purely on your intuition. The first thing that comes to my mind is how our smartphones really make us dependent. And I'm not against technology. I actually really like it. But there's no denying that these gadgets, they make us less capable of thinking for ourselves. Because when we get rid of them, when we lose them, when we leave them behind, all of a sudden we feel naked, or we feel like we ran out of our most important resource. So, perhaps as a spiritual practice, I would recommend that you give up one of these material or technological aids in your life that you rely upon to make decisions or to coordinate the logistics of your life, and to judge situations. Because I think with the High Priestess, what we're really talking about is essentially a situation where you're making judgments. You're making a judgment call. And the High Priestess reaches deep within her soul and her mind and her consciousness. She looks for an answer that does not come from a superficial understanding, but from the deep well of cosmic consciousness. And so the way to make this inner voice, this inner comprehension stronger, one way to do it would be to tone down the external scaffolding, the external support for your decision making. So actually choosing to leave certain material tools behind can have a positive effect. And I'm pausing because I'm realizing that the tarot could actually be considered a physical, material tool for your intuition. And perhaps leaving all of those things, all of those designed frameworks of thought and intuition out of the picture, and creating space for your natural intuition to just arise without limitations, without any material help, so to say, could be a great thing. So just to give you an example of what I'm thinking, a different example would be perhaps when you're, let's say you work as an HR person, and you have to make decisions at your job every day, and you're trying to rely on your intuition, but also you have these tools that are helping you. You're looking at a person's resume, you're looking at their social media, you're looking into their employment history, whatever it may be. You have all of these resources and tools that you can rely upon when you're making your choice, and that's fine. But you need to give some space to your intuition and leave some of your favorite tools behind and allow for the feeling to guide you, your gut feeling. So I don't know, Andrea, if your line of work is anything like that. And I don't think that it's necessarily happening in a professional setting. But this was just an example to show you how I think the High Priestess is trying to come to the surface here. So actively eliminating one or maybe multiple resources that you often work with to make your decisions, and embracing the scary feeling of not having a compass other than your own intuitive feeling of a situation or another person. This is the direction that the tarot is steering you in, I think. On the other hand, the next important thing that's coming in, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So that, I think, is an exception here. So we're talking about something different here. I don't see you threatened in this next important thing. What I'm seeing is that you worked really hard to be in the position that you're in right now. And the Knight of Pentacles, or the Son of Pentacles as it's called in this deck, it's a card of making slow progress. So I think this card and this event is motivated by the gratitude and the pride that you can feel about your achievements. And even though there's a slow pace in which things are unraveling, perhaps that's okay for now. So the Knight of Pentacles is asking you to appreciate the smaller steps that you've been taking towards your goals. And yes, you are moving forward. You are making progress. Even if it's not necessarily as flashy or exciting to other people. Perhaps they are not noticing it as much, but it's not about that. It's about what you know and what you can do. Focus on what you can do. Focus on your skills and all of the resources that are available to you. So actually, the next big thing is a story where your intuition plays a role, but it's not as dominant, it's not as important. This is more about what you have built, your work, your efforts, your patience. So, yeah, it's different. Your intuition is not as important here, so don't worry about that for now. On the other hand, in the long term, what the tarot would like to tell you with the Hermit Reversed is that you're entering a cycle of processing these deep internal messages, these intuitive flows of thought and emotion. And the light that you have been looking for, the intuitive understanding that this reading is explaining and that you have been trying to acquire, it's going to eventually have to be presented to the world in some way. So the Hermit Reversed is actually asking you to start focusing on coming out of your shell in the long run. And becoming more intuitive is an integral part of being able to take on the challenges that are being thrown at you. Just like with the Five of Swords, I think the story here is that you're learning about becoming more aware and cognizant of the dark tricks that people play. And once you start to become more and more able to intuitively navigate these waters, even when your resources are not available to you, you will be more confident to come out with the information that you have, with the confidence, with the self-worth that you intuitively and internally feel. So that's in the long run where your intuition can guide you. Even though intuition is an internal process, it's a very private, introverted experience more often than not. It's guiding you out of your comfort zone, out of your shell, out into the open, out into the public. So I hope that you enjoy this reading, Andrea, and everyone else who decided to watch with us. And I wish you good luck.